ensure that there are no borders in our continent. I want to tell the young people of our continent that this is your moment, and you have the opportunity. It is also the reason why in my administration, one of the 5 pillars is a digital superhighway with a creative economy. Digital superhighway because I believe that through digitalization, through technology, we can override any border. We can go over any stumbling block. Today, I am happy that any creative in any part of Africa have the opportunity through technology, innovation, and the digital space to access their talent to the whole globe. It is the reason why I am a great believer. It is the reason why I am a great champion of a visa-free Africa.
Yes. Fantastic.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. My next question goes to Your Excellency Anne Waiguru, the Chairperson Council of Governors. Your Excellency, you stand out as one of top leaders, and as a woman, I would like to know in this space of borderless Africa, where do you say is the place of women in governance?
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellency Presidents present, all protocols observed, and the youth of Africa, Wagwan. Wagwan. You may not know, but I live and I'm a mother of 9 youth, believe it or not, 6 children, and 3 are married, therefore 9, between the ages of 19 and 33. And so I have lived with this generation, and I hear them. They are unrestricted by their ethnicity, they are unrestricted by their nationality. They don't care too much about the restrictions that we older people put in them. And today, this is really a breath of fresh air. Before I respond on the question of the role of women, and I assume you're talking about young women because we are here with the youth. I think one of the things I would want to say is that after this conference is done, I hope that those of us in leadership will do something to ensure that this moves from a talk shop and something actually does change for the youth of Africa. The youth of Africa, as you have heard, want clear, porous borders. For the women who are young, they want unrestricted access to opportunities, career opportunities for those who want to work. What does that mean? The restrictions that have traditionally been there, that we saw during COVID, that actually we can work around, we loosen those restrictions to allow young women to have access to work, whether they are working from home because they are young mothers. We expect these young people, especially young women, to still get into the family way. But one of the restrictions for young women to move up their career paths is that when they get into the situation where they have children, there are restrictions to how far you can go to work. The opportunity may be in Rwanda, for example, but you can't move from Kenya. It may be in Kisumu, but you are living in Kirinyaga. The youth of this country and the youth of Africa are looking for opportunities where they can work across counties and across nations, and we should provide those opportunities. by being less rigid, for example, in the public service, allowing people to work from home. We did that during COVID, and the world did not stop. Why can't we provide the same opportunities to ensure young people continue to have access to opportunities? On the issues of trade, for example, they want to be able to register their businesses sitting in their homes without necessarily having to move from one office to another, from one county registration office to another, to be able to pay their fees from their phone. And thank God for M-Pesa and other financial services in Kenya. But for the youth in general, they want a leadership that is committed to the things that we talk about year in, year out in this Youth Connekt Africa, and for us to actually actualize them by making sure that we pass those policies. As a Council of Governors, we are working on the youth and integration policy that will be mainstreamed throughout all our counties to ensure that we allow movement of young people, be it men or women, to access opportunities through AGPO, to access training through our digital hubs, to access businesses through our procurement processes, and to be able to actually deliver those services and be paid from the comfort of wherever it is they are. Truly porous, truly borderless counties and Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
We will interrupt the program to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Nskoane Samuel, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Lesotho, who has joined us. Your Excellency, if you may rise, and His Excellency is wearing the uniform of the Kenya athletics team, the world beaters in athletics. Thank you, Your Excellency. Let us give him another round of applause. His Excellency Prime Minister. Let me also acknowledge His Excellency the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. Here in Kenya we call him simply Rigiji. Let us give it up to Rigiji. And Rigiji is accompanied by Mama Pastor Dorcas Rigathi. Let us give it up to Mama Dorcas. Asante sana, Mama. We also do acknowledge our leaders from the Council of Governors, represented by Governor Waiguru, and our Parliament, represented here or led here by the chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee responsible for Youth Affairs, ambaye yuko hapa. Tumpatie mheshimiwa makofi pamoja na waheshimiwa wote ambao wamekuja hapa. Asanteni sana. We can proceed.
Thank you so much, Her Excellency Anne Waiguru, for the amazing remarks. Now, she mentioned something very important, opportunities. And now my next question will be to Ms. Julie Gishuru, the Chief Public Affairs and Communications Officer, MasterCard Foundation. So Africa is endowed with incredible talent and potential. However, the continent continues to fall short in delivering opportunities for its youth. What should Africa do today to ensure that 20 years from now, we have reversed the current unemployment situation?
Wow, thank you for the question. First of all, my breath is taken away. You guys look amazing. Please give yourselves a round of applause. As a passionate Pan-Africanist, an African woman and an African mother, it's an honor to be here. And so let's talk about employment, or what I prefer to refer to as opportunity for young people. So I work at an incredible organization called the MasterCard Foundation. It's not MasterCard, but we were born out of MasterCard. And what they did in 2006 when they went to the market for an IPO was they gave It was truly a gift because they set up an independent institution. And from the start, we have worked primarily in Africa, in education and financial inclusion. And in 2016, we decided we were centering our strategy around young people in Africa. And we launched Young Africa Works, a mission to see 30 million young Africans in dignified work by 2030. So we are on that journey. You are all our partners because we stand with Youth Connekt Africa. Let me say a few things about work. Number one, education is critical, and we are all on that journey. Skilling is critical, and we are all on that journey. We need to ensure that young people can access affordable finance, and we are on that journey, but we need to do better in all of these things. So let me make it clear that we see these things. We see them in agriculture, in digital, in the health space, and we are transforming, and this is important. Interesting things are happening. I want to commend we're not calling them community health workers, we're calling them promoters in Kenya that were launched, and we're seeing hundreds of thousands of young people on the continent will go into health careers. We're looking at agriculture and saying this will be the bread basket of the world. We will feed ourselves and we will feed the world. We've heard of the natural resources, so much to do. But it is you who will unlock these doors. It is you who will innovate the young people, our children of this continent. And you are doing it every day. A lot of people like to say young people are the future leaders. You are not future leaders. You are leaders now, today. You are doing it. And we see you doing it. We see you holding your families up. We see it. We see you in your communities helping out with the little that you have, making a difference. We see it. We see the heroes and the champions. Please give yourselves a round of applause. We honor you, young people of Africa. Thank you. Let me finish by sharing some words of wisdom with you as an elder. And allow me to say the only other work that the foundation does is where we were first registered as a charity. It's in Canada, and we work with indigenous communities there. And if you read about them, you will find they were significantly marginalized. And so we went to them and asked, what can we do with you? And the young people said, we don't want scholarships, we don't want to go to schools outside our communities, we don't want to go to universities, we want to stay on our land. And we want you to value our cultural knowledge. And so we're doing that. But more than that, we tapped into the elders of those communities to share knowledge and build and grow the young people. Look for the elders around you who will mentor you. That's number one. And then I'm going to go to 3 African proverbs because I love them. The first one is the one who does not have the energy to pound the yams pretends he is chasing flies from the yams. Are you pounding yams or are you chasing flies? When I gave birth to my first child, I was really scared, and he's strong, so he was coming out fast. And I was screaming in the delivery room, screaming. And the nurse looked at me and she said, why are you spending all that energy screaming? And you're scaring all the women in the ward. Like everybody's like, what's going on? She said, stop screaming and put your energy in pushing. Guys, what are you spending your energy on? Second one, the same sun that hardens the clay melts the wax. please be smart. And in every opportunity, know there is a challenge. In every challenge, there is an opportunity. Seek to leverage everything that comes to you. Everything. Learn from it, grow, move forward. Final one. Hands wash each other. Yeah? You young people hold together. Grow each other. Network. Support each other. Buy from each other. You're the fastest growing population in the world. If you buy from each other, that's it. That's it. This is also your excellency for heads of state. And I want to say, it's been a long time since Africa has seen the momentum around this unity and common purpose that is starting to develop with African heads of state and nations, common agendas, voting together on a global scale. We, as young Africans here, I'm not so young, I speak on your behalf, want to encourage you all to continue to do so with a focus on Africa and Africans. And once again, take us to where we were when we were fighting for independence, standing together, making sure every country got past that line. I'll finish by saying that our forefathers fought a desperate battle, our grandfathers and great-grandfathers, so we could be free. So we could have ownership of our land, so we could have self-determination. Many gave their lives for that. What Africa did they dream about? Can you be the ones who build that Africa and bring it to life with your own aspirations rooted within this new Africa? I pray that you are able to achieve more than you could ever imagine. And I wish you love and blessings. And I want to finish with a ululation because I always do. And so let's do it together for Africa and for you.
Thank you, Ms. Julie Gishuru, for the... All right, my next question goes to His Excellency Sam Matekane, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Lesotho. Your Excellency, the Africa Free Trade is one of the biggest accomplishments of the Africa Rising journey. Where are we, Your Excellency, in terms of actualizing it and making it a reality?
Could you cut?
The Africa Free Trade is one of the biggest accomplishments of Africa Rising. Where are we, Your Excellency?
President Ruto, and also to all the President and Prime Ministers present here, to our youth, and all protocol observed. As we all know that we have just started the journey of opening Africa so that we can be, all the countries in Africa can be able to trade between ourselves. We are almost there. As President Ruto has said earlier, we all want the borderless, visa-free Africa so that we can be able to achieve a free Africa where all Africans can be able to trade between ourselves as Africans, and also be able to maintain stability within ourselves and be able to produce for ourselves before we go outside. We are almost there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And now, my question goes to the man who has a lot of influence with the youth, that he even has a nickname. His Excellency, the Deputy President of Kenya, Rigiji. So, our theme this year is Youth Innovating a Borderless African Renaissance. You have a lot of power, and in your office, we want to know, how is your office supporting the youths in innovation?
Thank you very much. Africa Hoy! Your Excellency, our leader, our President, Dr. William Ruto, Prime Minister of Lesotho, and the youth of Africa, we are grateful that we have this big gathering here of the future of Africa. I have told our young people to take their rightful place in leadership, to lead in all fronts, to lead in business, to lead in innovation, to lead in creativity, and even to lead in politics. Only that you shouldn't take my seat as that of the president. You can take all the other seats. The Office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya has a Department of Youth Affairs where we have the Honorable George Uhuru coordinates youth activities, and our offices remain open. I was in Rwanda last year where I made a strong plea that this summit for the year 2023 be held here in Nairobi because of my belief and that of my Vice President William Ruto that our young people are the future. And even sitting here today, the President and I believe we don't achieve much. By just sitting here among young people, through the two processes of biology, diffusion and osmosis, we feel a little bit younger. I want to ask the youth of Africa not to sit at home and wait for anybody to come and call you to take your rightful place in society. You must go for it. You have the numbers. You are the largest population in Africa. What you want is what you should get and what you must get. But you must go for it. My office continues to be open to engage the youth of this country, to interact with you, share ideas with you, and whatever that we need to do to unlock your potential and put you on the right path to success, we shall do. You are most welcome. Asante sana.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My next question, Your Excellency, goes to the Second Lady of this Republic of Kenya. Your Excellency, this is the 10th year of Africa Youth Connekt. We have been meeting and deliberating and sharing ideas and innovating. In your own views, what do you think that we are getting right, and what are we getting wrong, and what do we need to improve?
Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, and Excellencies present, all protocols observed. I think as I look here and see the bright eyes that are looking at me, I see not only the future, but I see the now. I see the energy, and I feel you. The fathers have spoken, and when fathers speak, it means they are willing to have something that is called succession management. The fathers dreamt of a road that will come from Cairo to Cape Town. You dreaming then. You are having a vision of global village. And now, I am calling you to continue and have the vision for Africa. Experience cannot be bought. But I believe as young people, you have enough experience. You don't need anybody to permit you to work. You have what it takes as young people to be innovative and to be creative as you have been. Every system and every structure that is going on around now, it is being driven by your intellectual property. And I believe because you may not have experience, and perhaps you are waiting for someone to be able to give you a collateral, we are going to look and to ask our president and his government and the governments of Africa to consider the intellectual property as the collateral for the youth. Because they have it. And well, that way, with the borderless countries, you can be able to move not only physically, but you can also move with your ideas. And I think some of the things that you need to do, one of the things that can help you grow and expand is to have a sober Africa. We must get out of drugs, substance abuse, so that you can have great vision and ideas. Many of you have died, and we don't want you to die on us because you are the future. You are the mothers of Africa. You are the fathers of Africa. And I believe that if we can be able to harness that integrity, morality, ethics, and more family ethics, I believe you have a great future, and we are backing you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Youths of Africa, Woza. Are you guys still with me? Youths of Africa, Woza. I want to thank Youth Connekt Africa Summit for always having this annual talk and discussion where we youths of Africa get to be part of the conversation. Now, I want you guys to clap for our leaders for creating time and for giving us their insights. Makofi out, tafadhali.
Thank you, Claudia. Let me at this point acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Wamkele Menje, Secretary General of the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. Welcome, Your Excellency. Rise so that we can acknowledge you. Let us acknowledge Asante Sana. And now, at this point, let me invite the representative of His Excellency President Paul Kagame to address us.
President William Ruto, Vice President Rigathi, and the Second Lady, ministers from different countries, and to the Council of Governors, the amazing youth that are here with us today. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here. And I want to start by appreciating the government of Kenya for bringing all of us here together, the energy, the ambitions, and the ideas that we're going to get here on the 6th edition of Youth Connekt is something commendable. Thank you, President Ruto, for hosting us. And I know this is not just an event, because what we have in this room is architects for the future, and it's very befitting for the title that we have today, which is really around creating the future that we want. The conversations that we've had from many of the leaders that spoke before, the aspirations they have for the continent, but most importantly, the faith that they have in the youth for their voice to be at the table today, but most importantly, in architecting the future. President, I want to congratulate you on the announcement of the visa-free policy. I believe when we talk about borderless, it's providing the ability for the young people in the room to scale their businesses without restrictions and to harmonize the different tax regimes that are going to make it possible for them to do business anywhere on the continent. And I think there's no better person than you, Amkele, to speak about the integration of Africa, to speak about the barriers that we are gathered here as policymakers, change makers, to solve for, because 10 years from now, we don't want to be talking about barriers, but rather the progress that we've made as a continent in becoming one single market. So without further remarks, I wanted to also acknowledge UNDP for being our partner from the get-go. We've talked about MasterCard Foundation, we've talked about EU. All these partners have made it very possible for us to convene every year, but also to find those initiatives that make it possible for us to work together. President Ruto, President Kagame couldn't be here today, but he's fully supportive of this and he sends you his regards. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let us acknowledge that message of His Excellency Paul Kagame, and in the same spirit, let me acknowledge our other partners. I had acknowledged the first set of our partners, but let me also acknowledge Kenya Airways, which is the official carrier of the 6th edition of Youth Connekt Africa, and Kenya Airways is connecting Africa, the pride of Africa. I also acknowledge Google, Mabati Rolling Mills, MRM, Meta, Facebook, the International Youth Fellowship, IYF, our very important partners with whom we are developing a lot of programs for the youth, Red Cross, and Auda NEPAD, who we are doing amazing work together. I also acknowledge all the embassies, all the missions here in Nairobi with whom we have worked, and special mention to the African Diplomatic Corps, led here by Ambassador Rusung. We thank you together with the whole African group. Thank you very much. Let me also make a special mention of the special delegation from Azerbaijan who are attending this summit as Friends of Africa. The Azerbaijani delegation, thank you very much. And of course, the youth of Kenya from all our 47 counties, asanteni sana, tunawalombotov sana. Thank you for coming here to join us. Let me also acknowledge the Minister of Education of the United Republic of Tanzania that is representing here Mama Suluhu, President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Asante sana, Waziri. Asanteni sana, Muungano wa Tanzania. Thank you very much. And our youth from all the counties, thank you very much. Our local leaders, the members of parliament, the members of parliament, our members of county assemblies, all our leaders that have been part of putting this event together and mobilizing our young people to be here, we thank you. And of course, the Swahili say, Ukiona vyaelea, ujue vimeundwa. This whole conference has been put together by a fantastic team led by a steering committee that I had the privilege of chairing and a local organizing committee that has been led so well by the Principal Secretary of the State Department of Youth Affairs and the Creative Economy, Ismail Made. Ismail, together with your team, Asanteni Sana, together with all of you, members of this team, and all our departments, the National Youth Council, the Youth Advisory Board, all our segments, Asanteni Sana, for putting this together. Thank you very much. Now it is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to invite His Excellency, the Deputy President, Rigiji, atuweze kumwalika Mheshimiwa Rais atuhutubie rasmi. Your Excellency Rigiji.
Before I invite you, let me say how happy we are as a country to host the youth of Africa. We feel very respected as a country to host young people, people who have passion, who have energy, who have zeal to create innovation and to change the African continent. And I would like to challenge our youth from Africa. Please, take your rightful place in this continent. We want to urge you to take leadership in all spheres of influence, not just in matters of innovation, not just in the tech space. We want you to be the leaders in business. We want you to be the leaders in sports. We want you to be the leaders in the creative economy. And we also want you to take leadership in the political management of your respective countries, because you have what it takes, you have the knowledge, you have the energy, you have the passion, and you are the people we need to put Africa in the world map. With those very many remarks, let me request you to be outstanding and help me to usher in of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Your Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rigiji. Again, with a lot of humility, let's take our seats. Asanteni sana. Excellencies, heads of state and government, and representatives of various delegations from across Africa, our youth from various countries, various counties in Kenya participating in this Youth Connect. African youth, woza. Ndugu wa Kenya, hamjambo? Mambo? On behalf of the people of Kenya, it is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to our capital city, Nairobi, a city defined by opportunity, creativity, technology, and I dare say, innovation. I stand here today to state my unwavering and total belief that Africa is in the midst of great change, a social and economic transformation that will rewrite the African narrative for this generation and for the next. Most importantly, a change, a renaissance, if you want, that will largely benefit the young people of our continent, who will provide the energy, the dynamism to sustain it and make it a new reality for us in Africa. I believe this change is coming because the old Africa, the one that was defined and defined itself by challenges, the one that glorified its problems and sought external solutions that Africa is fading away. We are in a new process of creating a new Africa, one that is founded on a rock-solid belief in our own capacity, that is driven by our relentless pursuit of progress, and that is committed to developing solutions to obliterate the challenges that we all face. At the heart of this revitalization sits the most talented, innovative, and dynamic generation of Africans there has ever lived. A wireless generation, a borderless generation, and more importantly, a relentless generation that I see in front of me. I came here to interact with this remarkable group, to engage and listen to you all. We are, this moment, living in an Africa where the only thing that matters is the creation of opportunity. This is the agenda. This is our objective. This is the conversation. The youth are at the center of this moment, this agenda, and at the center of this conversation. I invite you to believe, like I do, that Africa is changing, and to work hard to make sure that you participate in the definition and exploitation of opportunities that comes with this change. I invite you to focus your energies on the creation of opportunity, the identification of value, and the pursuit of prosperity. I invite you to stare down the challenges of today with your intelligence, creativity, and capacity to innovate. I invite you to play a leading role in the transformation of Africa, to ensure your voice is heard, your effort is counted, and participation assured. As we gather for this 6th summit dubbed Youth Innovating a Borderless African Renaissance, I am convinced that we are at the dawn of a new Africa where innovation will cross boundaries, where creativity will flourish without constraints, and where the dreams of our young people will take root. I wish to thank the Republic of Rwanda and my brother, President Paul Kagame, for conceiving the Youth Connekt platform and for hosting 4 of the 5 editions of the summit. I echo the words of my brother, President Kagame, during the 5th edition in Kigali in October last year. The youth of Africa are the leaders of today, he said. They are the driving force behind our continent's transformation, the innovators who are reimagining our industries, the entrepreneurs who are creating jobs, and the activists who are advocating for a better future. End of quote. I join President Kagame in affirming the game-changing capacity of the African youth. This 6th edition of the Youth Connekt Africa Summit is premised on 7 key focus areas. I wish to briefly delve into each one of them. On sustainable green livelihoods, climate adaptation, and resilience. Our planet is in a crisis, and Africa is unfortunately bearing the brunt of the effects of climate change. This means that the continent must lead in the development of sustainable solutions, and that is what we crafted at the Africa Climate Summit here in September. The youth of Africa must become champions of environmental stewardship, fostering innovative practices that protect our planet while ensuring sustainable livelihoods for future generations. They must get into renewable energy, promoting sustainable agriculture, and developing climate-resilient infrastructure. This issue will define our future, and the young people of Africa cannot be on the margins of this very important conversation. In September this year, the governments of Kenya and the African Union co-hosted the inaugural Africa Climate Summit to discuss African-led sustainable solutions to global climate challenges under the theme, Driving Green Growth and Climate Finance Solutions for Africa and the World. This conference culminated in the Nairobi Declaration, an 11-point call to action with a rallying call to overhaul the global financial system to facilitate climate action financing. Kenya has developed a national climate change adaptation strategy, which is bolstering the country's resilience against the impacts of global warming. Now we are told it's no longer global warming, it's global boiling. Perhaps our key initiative is the 15 billion tree restoration project that will increase Kenya's forest cover from 12% to 30% by 2032. We have recruited a 4,000-strong youth green army to support this program initially. We are escalating this to a national 1 million youth green army for climate adaptation, a movement that must spread across the whole of Africa. On the second subject, renaissance of the African dream. Africa has a rich heritage of statesmen. Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Jomo Kenyatta, Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, and I could go on. Leaders who decades ago foresaw the unstoppable power of a united Africa. We must rekindle this dream because now more than ever, we are in a position to make it a reality. You are now the custodians of this dream, this idea envisaged by our forefathers. With the technology available to us today, it is very possible to build one African market. It is possible for an idea to rise in Nairobi, arrive in Lagos by midday, and Cape Town by sundown, and vice versa. It is possible to develop, respect, and appreciate our various cultures through social media. We can exchange ideas and learn from each other every day. This is what our forefathers wanted for us. Innovation is critical to achieving our development goals. To grow fast, we must deliberately focus on innovation to create fresh opportunities through the creation of new products, models, and partnerships. Africa's youth must drive this digital revolution. We must not be afraid of new ideas, especially when they are big. We must not hide our ideas because we do not know how to resource them. Kenya is a renowned trailblazer in innovation. We recently launched the first green digital innovation hub to accelerate new ideas and products. The Green Digital Innovation Hub targets foundational sectors such as agriculture, information and communication technologies, and energy, incorporating cutting-edge technology like automation, AI, sensor networks, cyber and IT security, cloud computing, and smart cities. The hub anticipates playing a pivotal role in leading the digital and green transition in Kenya and in our region. The global job market is increasingly shifting towards virtual and technology-driven roles, necessitating an alignment of our education system with this reality. To this end, the Ministry of Education is collaborating with global tech giant Google the Ministry of ICT and the digital economy in launching a comprehensive coding program in primary and secondary schools in Kenya nationwide. Google has generously offered to create a job pipeline for program participants, providing access to digital gigs with earning potential of up to $3,000 per month. In fact, I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that in the space of creating jobs, I am a great believer that the way to derive value out of the 650 billion shillings we spend in our education and training every year is to create opportunities and pathways where young people can monetize their talent, their knowledge, their education in different ways. It is the reason we have intentional, deliberate programs on how to create jobs. The trouble I run into sometimes is that there are people who are used to traditional jobs. They believe that a job is when you have a tie, you've gone to an office, and you have a boss sitting somewhere. They cannot fathom that you can be in a t-shirt, in your home, in your house, and you are working. In fact, we have a case in court, very interesting case in court in Kenya, where the court has ruled that if you are working in Nairobi for a company in the US, you must get a letter of appointment from the company in the US. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Are you interested in a letter of appointment, or are you interested in working and earning a salary? So we have a new model of jobs that our laws did not see. In fact, shortly we will be changing the law in Kenya so that it begins to appreciate that there are remote jobs. There are jobs that you do not have to walk into an office. What matters is that you're working. It doesn't matter whether you are wearing a suit. It doesn't matter whether your hair is combed. It matters that you know what you're doing, and you are doing it well. We must expand access to broadband connectivity and increase digital literacy for innovation to flourish. Kenya has launched an innovation master plan that charts a roadmap for long-term value creation and bets big on innovation dividends. Additionally, the government of Kenya has provided affordable access to technology through initiatives such as the Ajira Digital Skills Initiative, equipping young people with the digital skills necessary for success in the modern economy. We are, for those of you who are Kenyans, you know we are rolling out 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic backbone infrastructure that is targeting health facilities, schools, and the judiciary, among other public institutions. Alongside this, we are rolling out another 25,000 public Wi-Fi hotspots that are targeting markets, bus parks, and other public spaces. It should be possible for you to do business at the bus park because there is connectivity. E-commerce is the business of the future. We were going through the stalls here, and there are many innovations by many young people. I want to thank the Parliament of Kenya. They have just changed the law this week. In fact, I intend to sign it into law next week, so that we can create 1,450 digital hubs in every ward in the Republic of Kenya. Again, to spur e-commerce, to create opportunities for creativity and the digital economy, and to also train the youth on digital technology and connecting them with jobs from around the world. To foster innovation, Kenya has established the Kenya National Innovation Agency, providing support and resources to startups and innovators. Kenya recently hosted the first ever Kenya Innovation Week 2023 Commonwealth Edition as a show of our commitment towards supporting innovation. By the way, on December 12th, just 2 days from today, and I invite all of you to come for our Jamhuri Day celebrations. We will be, in those celebrations, be unveiling winners of the inaugural Presidential Innovation Challenge as we celebrate Kenya's 60 years. On sustainable peace, security, and reconciliation, a peaceful and secure Africa is a prerequisite for the realization of sustainable development as outlined under the Global Sustainable Development Goals, and specifically SDG number 16, one that seeks to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels, calls for governments to empower the youth to become ambassadors of peace, cohesion, reconciliation, fostering dialogue, promoting tolerance, and building bridges of understanding across borders. As leaders, we can support, and we should support, peace-building initiatives, promote civic education, and foster inter- and intra-faith dialogue. I will be asking for your permission shortly, because as you are aware, we have security challenges in Sudan. And today, we are having a conversation as leaders of IGAD, because there are 7 million young people and women and children today in refugee camps in Sudan. And it is our responsibility as Africans to tackle that problem. And so, leaders of IGAD, we will be meeting in a few hours to agree on how to stop the conflict, on how to get the young people in camps to come and help us develop our continent, to stop unnecessary loss of life, and to get Africa going. We must teach our youth to see brotherhood and sisterhood in their peers across Africa, to realize that we have more in common than what divides us. Let me speak about enterprise development, the future of Africa's borderless commerce. And I'm happy I'm speaking this when my brother Wamkele is sitting here, our Secretary General for ACFTA. Entrepreneurship is the biggest creator of value and opportunity in the world. With their increasing levels of education and skills, Africa's youth can drive economic growth by embracing entrepreneurship. African governments like Kenya have to make supporting MSMEs a key priority, pairing financial support with advisory services. We must foster a conducive environment for entrepreneurship by providing young people with access to capital, mentorship, and opportunities to transform their ideas into thriving cross-border businesses. This can be achieved by simplifying business regulations, facilitating access to finance, and promoting regional economic integration. Kenya is championing entrepreneurship by creating an enabling environment for young people to start their own business. We have facilitated access to finance for young people through affirmative action funds, namely the Hustler Fund, Youth Enterprise Fund, WESO Fund, Women Enterprise Fund, and National Government Affirmative Action Fund. The Hustler Fund, for example, has benefited 21.7 million Kenyans across Kenya. Let me also say, we are lowering access and we are expanding new opportunities so that we can escalate this to the next level of entrepreneurs. Let me also confirm, to further boost economic integration, Kenya fully supports the establishment